up and make some leave. Step out the house fresh when I go and get the bag. Popping bottles, popping tags. It's just somebody's fat boy swag. Swag, 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 swag. It's just somebody's fat boy swag. Swag, 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 swag. It's just somebody's fat boy swag. It's just somebody's fat boy swag. It's just somebody's fat boy swag. Swag, 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 swag. It's just somebody's fat boy swag. Swag, 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 swag. It's just somebody's fat boy swag.
Hey, what's going on, social media fans? Welcome back to the Eugene B Show, where we drop dope new content every single Thursday on our growing YouTube channel. So if you're new to the Eugene B experience, be sure to go back and watch all of my previous episodes because, y'all, this is the finale. All right, so if you have not done so already, please go ahead and make sure that you subscribe to my channel and be sure to hit that bell notification so you don't miss another episode, all right? Okay, y'all, so like I said, we made it to our finale and I'm so excited. Can y'all believe that we have released 21 episodes? And of those 21 episodes, we had like over 3,000 views. And then we had 172 subscribers. And we've been averaging around 200 views per episode here lately. So that's not too bad for our first run. On our final episode, I wanted to be inclusive as possible, and I wanted to hear from viewers like you. So earlier this week, I posted an Ask Me a Question on my Facebook and on my Instagram stories, and I had to give some of y'all, you know, a little gentle nudge for my faithful viewers. But I had to give y'all a little nudge to go ahead and ask some questions. And when I did, it spread like wildfire. So I actually have so many questions that it's going to be hard to answer them all during this episode. But I will try my hardest to condense them so that, you know, we can get through everything today. Yes, before we get started, I definitely have to give a very special shout out to Visions Beauty Salon located at 6958 Belford Avenue in Houston, Texas, for sending me all of these great samples. They are hair and skin products that they're sending me. So I've been using this Get Right beard butter, and it has my beard soft and healthy and smelling amazing. The oil, it plumps it up with the collagen production, and it gives it a fuller and healthier appearance. So I'm really trying to stimulate some growth here. I do cut my beard a lot, but I'm trying to stimulate some growth here. Unfortunately, you know my situation with my hair because I ain't gonna be able to use the hair products. But I'm gonna have my daughter and my wife probably try them out, and then we'll do like an unboxing video on season 2 of the Eugene B Show. So if you're looking to own your bronze beauty, is what they say on the website, head on over to visionbeautysalon.com and stock up while supplies last. Now, we're now at the point where you guys have been waiting for. It's for me to read these questions. All right, so I got my computer here. We're going to be reading the questions. And I also have to send a shout out to my cousin, my sis, Sheeta. Thank you so much. She has invested in the Eugene B experience by providing me a nice little microphone. So thank you so much. Shout out to Sheeta B. Her mention is at Sheeta B. But anyway, we're going to get started with some of the questions that you guys asked. So if you see me looking over to the side here, it's because I got my computer right here, and I'm actually having to look up all of these questions. So we're going to start with, looks like we have got quite a few questions, guys. Like, oh my gosh, it's a lot. And I'll keep in mind, some of you guys also requested not to be... you wanted your questions to remain anonymous, so I'll definitely keep it anonymous for you, for those who have requested that. No worries. Not everybody's, you know, ready to be out there like that. And I should have been more specific whenever I told you guys to drop questions. Everybody's like, I'm scared to ask a question. I'm like, why are you scared? Like, it's me. Come on, just ask the question. Don't be scared. All right, so we got one here from Sammy Alex. Shout out to Sammy Alex. What's up, Sammy? If y'all have not checked him out, he was on our episode a couple of weeks back, and he was giving us the lowdown on his new episode that's going to be coming out. It just came out this week, called with the Masked Dancer, that's airing on Fox. So y'all go and check out my boy Sammy. But Sammy asks, what made you want to become a host and host your own show? Good question, Sammy. So I would say a multitude of things. Over this past year in 2020, I've had to kind of revamp the way that I do business in my regular 9 to 5. And so what happened was. What had happened was I had a lot of my students and stuff ask me if I do YouTube channel, and I was like, no, why would I? And so they were like, can we get the hack on your beard? Can we get the hack on like your skincare and all of this stuff? Like, how do you do this? Because we had to transform over 75 events, face-to-face events into virtual events. And so I was really creative with how we did it. Me and my team, we worked hard to execute these programs that were really robust programs in real life, and condense them down to tolerable events that were virtual. And so that's what kind of sparked me into doing my own show. And it kind of happened organically. And after the students kept asking me, I was like, okay, God, when God gives me something, it's like, give me 1, 2, and then I'm like, okay, what you really want? What you really trying to say? I'm listening. So at that point, I put a little message out on my social media, and I said, hey guys, would you watch my YouTube show if I had one? And everybody got 100% of yeses. And so on the first episode, we really didn't even know what we were going to talk about, and it just kind of evolved into being a talk show host, I guess you would say, interviewing different people, interviewing my friends and things like that. So that is how the show was birthed. So that's what made me want to become the host. Right, so we're going to go to our next question here from Buddha_Cooter. Buddha Cooter. So she says, how has it been juggling parent, spouse, and acting and a YouTube show? It is not easy at all, but we get it done, right? So if you guys don't know about, like, I share all this stuff with you guys on the show, but right now I have around like 5 jobs. So I just finished working on a feature film called Keep On Loving. We just finished shooting that in terms of acting. And then I just finished a short film called The Meeting. And that was finished last 2 weekends ago, I think it was. And then I also am working on the television series O'Shea. I'm still filming that, and then I do my YouTube show, which was very, very ambitious of me to do, to drop episodes every single Thursday. So I had to go out and interview people. I had to think of creative concepts and things like that in order to actually get it done. So yeah, that's a lot of work. And then I work a regular 9 to 5 job in my higher education career. If y'all don't know, I work in higher education. I'm an administrator, and I oversee student transition programs and things like that in the Strategic Enrollment Management Department. Then on top of that, I'm a parent and a husband. So with that being said, my days typically start at like 5 o'clock in the morning, is when I would say I'm resetting for the next day. 5 a.m. I get up, I have to commute into the city, but it's an hour and a half commute, I would say, to get in and to get out of the city. So that's around 3 hours of my day that's kind of taken, just spent on the road driving. And then I work my regular hours. So I have to get there extra early in the morning in order to get a parking spot in the garage and all of that kind of stuff. So I usually arrive to work about 30 to 45 minutes earlier than my scheduled shift. And then I'm out of there, hopefully sometimes at a reasonable time, maybe 5 o'clock or whatever. Then I'm rushing home. I'm rushing to get home so that way we can have family time, because I do definitely believe in being at home. You know what I'm saying? My wife, she cooks every single day. And so we sit at the table, we have dinner like a normal family. And we try to keep things as normal as possible. So I'm rushing home to get home and to, take off my work hat and put on my dad hat and my husband hat. And we sit down and we have dinner. We sit down and we actually have conversations about how your day went, things like that. That's how we stay centered. That's our time as a family. And then after that, we kind of chill a little bit. We play games and stuff like that. Maybe watch some TV. And we hit the sack, right? We go to sleep. So we usually are in bed probably around like 9 o'clock. I know it seems very early, But I go to sleep and I sleep for sleep hard and as long as I possibly can from around 9 until maybe around like midnight. Typically, I'm up at around midnight, and then that's when I start working again, and I work until morning. So with that being said, like, what am I doing when I'm working? I'm probably editing videos. I am checking my emails and things like that because, while I'm at work and while I'm engaged, I'm constantly making sure that everything is getting done. And then whenever I disengage from that and I'm on my 1.5-hour commute home and things like that, and then I'm, working with the family and all of that stuff, people are still steady sending emails, inquiries, and all that stuff. So when I wake up in the middle of the night, that's a chance for me to go ahead and get those emails and everything out of the way while they're sleeping. So that way, whenever 8 o'clock hits again, I'm all caught up and I can kind of handle the day-to-day that's going on in the office. So that's my work hours in the middle of the night because that's when everybody sleep. That's when I can focus the most. So that's how I've been juggling all of this stuff. But yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot, but we get it done. And I don't even know what to do. Like when I don't have anything to do, I'm up in arms. Like I don't even know how to even handle myself. So that is how I actually, balance everything. So it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm not going to even lie to you. It's a lot, but we get through it. All right. So we got some other questions that we're going to get to. Thank you so much, Buddha Cooter. We got some questions from Viv_Espinoza_Ramos. That's my girl Vivian. So shout out to Viv. She's starting up her YouTube channel. She's doing her. She's a makeup artist, the coldest makeup artist I think that there is out there. We got some cold people that's coming out of LP. So definitely look her up, and you guys can follow her on Instagram or on her social media. So she says, I need your fashion skills. You're too funny, Vivian. Me and Vivian go way back. We actually go back to like 7th or 8th grade, like junior high. And ever since I met her, she's just been always the same. The other day we were actually out in the store. We were in a store here locally, and I seen her in the store, and she saw me in my outfit, my little track outfit or whatever. I actually think I had the same thing. I had the same outfit on, and she was like, I don't even gonna tell your followers that I seen you looking like this, but thank you so much. My fashion skills, I guess. I don't even see it as fashion. I mean, I just do what I do. All right, thanks, Viv. It looks like she got some more questions in here too, Vivian. I'm gonna go ahead and answer those too. So she also asked, would you ever consider helping others to learn how to start their own YouTube or show? Definitely. I would love to help people because there were some people that helped me along the way too. So I would definitely love to help any up and coming YouTubers come up and how they're going to do their thing on their platforms. But I will share with you, you would be surprised at how many of these great influencers that I really do love, they're not trying to help you. I think they might see it as competition. I don't think that way though. So anything that I can do to help, I definitely will. I'll promote you. I'll help whatever you need to do to help you glow up, because everybody got something special to bring to the table. So I'm not threatened by it. But yeah, yes, I would definitely help people to start their YouTube shows. All right, cool. All right, let's go to the next one that we have here. Ooh, we got a lot from DDanders20. That's my boy Daryl. What's going on, Daryl? All right, so Daryl has a lot of questions here. Daryl says, how did you get into acting and how long have you been doing it? Great question. I have been acting since I believe, and y'all forgive me because I don't keep up with dates and all of that stuff. I barely remember the year I got married. But I think that I've been doing this since around like 2013, 2014, something like that. And how did I get into acting? It was completely a fluke. It was not, I never had any formal training or anything like that. I was actually on social media and I was doing what was then, it's kind of like TikTok is now, but it was called Dub Smashes, where you do like the voiceovers to people's, lines or whatever the case may be. And the playwright, Annie Johnson, wrote me and was like, have you ever done any acting before? And I was like, no. And she said, I really want you to audition for my upcoming play. And I was like, no, not gonna do it. Because I'd never done anything like that before. And so she kept hitting me up, and I eventually was like, okay, I'll come and do it. Like, I was seriously thinking, like, what are you trying to do? Get me somewhere and rob me or something? I didn't know much about, this whole thing. She's like, no, fool, come out here and do the thing, and do your audition, and let's see where things go. And so I do the audition completely out of my element, and she calls me back later, writes me back later that evening and told me that I got the part. And I had to come in, I had to sign my contracts and all of that stuff. And my first table read was awful. I was sitting there reading like I was reading a book, and these actors that are so trained and so talented are, saying these lines, and they're reading them for the first time, but saying them with such conviction and emotion that it was like I'm just sitting there just like in awe, just sitting there looking. So that's kind of how I got into acting. On my first stage play, I struggled bringing this character to life. I really didn't understand how difficult it was to actually act. So I really struggled with making the scene believable, making the character believable and things like that. And so when I finally got it, when I tapped into it, it was great. And on my first stage play, that's when I landed my first role in my movie. And producer Frederick Alonso came up to me at the premiere of that stage play and was like, I got this perfect role for you. And I was like, here we go again. Like, I thought it's like joking around. Is this like really real or what? And so, yeah, he was serious. He was like, you don't even have to audition. Just tell me you're going to be in my movie. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. And so I did that. And so acting has been crazy. And then I actually interned with AWJ Productions to get my master's degree in digital media studies, and I was a production assistant. And so thank you. I thank them for that opportunity. I was in a number of different stage plays after that. And then we got into this television series called O'Shea. And so one of my fellow actors, Antron Harris, kind of referred me to Eric Hunter, who is my producer and director for O'Shea, and put me into O'Shea. And that has been a whirlwind, but that is how I got into the acting scene. But all of my work, like, that's why I say I'm an actual actor, because it is my profession. That is something that I do. I get paid to do it. So yeah, it just kind of happened. It was just kind of a fluke, but it has been the best thing that's ever happened to me. I never would have imagined taking all this raw energy and stuff like that I just thought was useless talent, and putting it into something like this, into these great productions. So yeah, that's how I got into it, and that's how long I've been doing this. It's around 2013, 14. Okay, so we got another question. What advice do you have for someone that's looking into getting into acting? Okay, another great question. Advice that I would give you is to be flexible and become a sponge. Learn as much as you possibly can. Don't come in there thinking that you got it, that you like. I am so humble when it comes to that craft. Because I just know that there are so many great actors and actresses out there that have been doing this for so much longer than me. And so I'm kind of like a sponge. I want to learn everything that I possibly can. Some other advice that I would give, actors that are coming up, is to get under a good acting coach or someone that's a good producer or playwright. Annie Johnson is my go-to, because she is just about her business, right? And so when you go in there, you got to be ready to work. She don't take no for an answer. She's not going to take any excuses. You better be ready to work. And so that's who I came under first, and I'm glad that I did, because it really taught me how to become a real professional actor. And then after that, since I had been taught well, when I went on to other sets and things like that, I think that that's what kind of gave me the opportunities that I've been given, because I haven't really just gone out and auditioned for different things, like the roles and things like that. They just been coming. So I don't really, I send out my acting reel and things like that for different productions that I would like to be in. But for the most part, all the work that I've had is because people have sought me out. And I'm very easy to work with. I have kind of a light personality when it comes to it. Like, I'm about my business. Like, I'm going in there prepared. I don't want to waste anybody's time. And it's a lot of responsibility, and it's a lot of teamwork whenever you're coming into acting. Those are some of the things, the tips and advice that I would give you. Also, one more thing is whenever you're going into the acting field, you just think that, oh, I'm just an actor, but there's a lot of different types of actors that are out there. So whenever you're working on different productions, like if you're working on a stage play is completely different from a television series, completely different from a movie. Each one of them has their own lane, and I'm glad that I've been able to kind of stretch myself and do other things, do all these different types of acting. But in a stage play, you have to learn the whole script. You go to rehearsals on a consistent basis and you're with these people all the time. And you sit there through the entire script. You sit there and everybody has their lines and things like that. And you read from front to end. You act from front to end. Whenever you're in a movie, the biggest shift that I saw there was that, yes, I had the whole script, and I knew how the story was going, but I only shot with the people that I had scenes with. So you may have a whole movie, but you may only have like four scenes. And so you only record those 4 scenes with those 4 people, so on and so forth. And that's how you get through the scene or whatever. So you don't really know how it comes together because you know the storyline, but you don't actually see it until everything is kind of, put together. And the last and final piece of advice that I would have for you is, with television series. So that is completely different from everything that I just talked about. With the television series with O'Shea, you don't even get to see the whole story. Like even right now, I'm working on this film or on this television series, and I only know the parts that I'm a part of. So there's one scene where I say it's been 4 days and I haven't heard from Corey, and I'm like wondering like, who is Corey? Why I ain't seen him in 4 days? So you really have to rely on the producer or the director to guide you through that scene, and you got to be open to listen to what they're saying because they know the whole story, but you don't. You only know a piece of it, so you got to be really receptive to listen to what they have to say. I guess the last little piece of advice, I've been saying all this different advice because it was a lot that I had to learn, is to be open to constructive criticism. And it's not, if you're sensitive and things like that, probably not going to be the best thing for you because people are going to rip you to shreds whenever you are delivering the scenes. And it's not you that they're ripping to shreds. It's the art of it, right? And so I've had a producer or Mr. Ralph, I'll say his name, God rest his soul. He was the sweetest guy ever. And he was tough, but he was fair. But I was doing a scene one night, and you have to completely block out everything that's been going on. At that time, I was working a really, really stressful job, and I would rush to get to practices and things like that, and you got to kind of shake it off and get into the character. And I just wasn't delivering. I guess I just had a bad night. And he said, I'm just bored. I'm bored. And I was like, oh, you bored? Oh, okay. And it was embarrassing because you're completely vulnerable in front of all of your castmates and things like that. And so I had to bring it, you know what I'm saying? And so if you are a person that takes offense to things, with the drop of a hat, may not be the best thing for you because you can't be offensive about it. The constructive feedback that he gave me that he was bored meant that I needed to step my game up and I need to really deliver this character. So it wasn't anything that was personal. And I actually thrive off that. I love it now. Like, give me the feedback. Let me know what I'm doing well in. Let me know what I'm not doing well in. So that's kind of where we are with that. But these are great questions, D. Danders. Let's see. Okay. Modeling. Okay. He says, any advice for a big guy like myself on how to get into modeling? And then his follow-up question is, do you have a modeling agency? Okay. Great questions. Any advice that I would give to guys that are trying to get into the modeling thing? Modeling is, I don't know, this is kind of like a hit and miss with me, because I'm not really like technically a official model. I'm not signed with an agency or anything like that. Any modeling gigs that I've done, it has been because a photographer or, an agency wanted to feature me in something. And so that's where the modeling comes in, but I don't consider myself to be like a full-fledged like model. That's not my only job. You know what I'm saying? So I really can't give much advice to you on that. I mean, in this day and age with social media and the way that people are kind of doing things organically and they're working for themselves, I kind of am my own manager. So I know I'm not signed with the modeling agency or anything like that. So I get inquiries all the time. People send me stuff and they'll be like, hey, I want you to model for this, or I want you to model my clothing, or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, okay, well, what's the contract? What does the contract say? And so I'll read through the terms and conditions, and if it's not right, then I'm not doing it. Because sometimes, you know, these clothing agencies and things like that, they really want you. It's not so much as they want you to model their clothes or whatever, but they also want you to buy their clothes. And then once you start buying the clothes, then you send stuff back. You keep the stuff that you don't. I mean, that kind of thing. So they're getting a 2-for-1 deal out of you. You're buying their products, but you're also modeling their products, which brings in more revenue and things like that. So if it's things like that, I really won't do. Now, the photographers that have come to me, and I've been photographed by some noted photographers. You know, you guys know I had Jamal D. Lathan Photography on the show a couple of episodes back. And so he has been in Houston Style Magazine. He's worked with some really, really big names. So I was really surprised and you know, honored that he even wanted to work with me. But I've also worked with The Lens, and that came from my affiliation with AWJ Production. He came out to do our photos and our headshots and things like that. So, you know, that's kind of how I got into that. And both of them reached out to me and said, hey, I just want to do some modeling, some big and tall models, and I wanted to shoot you. And so I went ahead and I did it. So in terms of modeling and things like that, I mean, of course, if there are any agencies out there that want to sign a big and tall model or a big and tall influencer or whatever the case may be, regardless of who they are, I'm going to read the contract and I'm going to read the fine line. What is this going to do for you and me? How is this going to be lucrative business for both of us? So I really can't give you much advice on the modeling thing. It's kind of organic. You just kind of have to go with the flow and you know, see what they say. But I don't really go out and look for modeling gigs. I just kind of post my little pictures or whatever on Instagram or on my social media, and then I get people that, you know, want to work with me. Let's see. Great questions, D. Danger. So I think that we got most of yours taken care of. Other questions that we have coming in from the Lumiere Films. Yes, that's the people that I just did the movie with, called The Meeting. And so they had a question: how do you know which content to talk about next? Oh, great question. So when it comes down to this YouTube channel, I can't even explain it, guys, seriously. Whenever I am talking about different content on the show, or I'm creating or developing a new show, I think I kind of reach back to my days of my communication days when I was in college, and writing for the media and things like that. If it bleeds, it leads. That kind of concept. So you kind of have to be forthcoming and proactive about what content is out there, what people are actually going to look at. So a lot of this stuff, I base my shows off of the feedback that you guys give me, whether y'all think that y'all are giving it to me or not. So I look at how many views that I'm getting on certain videos, on certain topics and things like that. And so that will tell me whether or not I need to move further in that area, or if I need to back away from it. So I'm looking at the views, I'm looking at the watch time, I'm looking at how many people are subscribing, what are the stories doing, because whenever I post like my Instagram stories, how do they do? You know, are people interested in watching the shows and things like that? So that's how I kind of know what content to talk about. And so with this particular project, you know, with us kind of evolving into the music and doing the interviews with different artists and things like that around Houston, and even outside of Houston, even going as far as Los Angeles with Sammy Alex. And then I have some other things that are going to be coming up with some great talented producers that are from Florida that just recorded our short film, The Meeting. But even with that, like, you guys seem to really respond to learning about different parts of the industry and things like that. So that's kind of the element that I'm going with. But yeah, that's how I know what content to talk about. And then I shoot my scenes organically as well. So there's not like a specific day that I go out and I'm shooting content. I typically, when I started off, I recorded like 3 episodes, and then I put them on a scheduler, and then I released them weekly. And then while those things were releasing, then I was steady trying to find new content to film and things like that. And so I can start filming at any time. Whenever we were at with the meeting, doing that movie, I knew that these guys were from Florida, and they were there only for one day. I would probably never get a chance to see them again. So I utilized that opportunity to get their interview on film. So that's kind of how I work it. So it's really organic in how I develop the content or produce the episodes. Cool. All right. So another question that we have here, Heavy on the Fly. That's my guy there. What's going on, man? He says, what inspired you to use that song for your introduction? So that song that he's talking about is called Fat Boy Swag by BTS or Break the Scale. And so with that song, the song is just really catchy. Since the first time that I heard it, I was like, that is a hit, right? And so shout out to BTS. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to use the show, the music on my platform. But I chose that song because it's really empowering to men that are, bigger or fat, whatever the case may be. I am a big guy, right? But I've never let my size or anything like that stop me from doing anything that I had in my heart to do. And so I love the inspiration that it gives to, big guys. You know what I'm saying? It's just something about that fat boy swag. You know what I mean? You might even not even like a fat guy, but after you talk to me, you're gonna like me. Oh, you gonna like me. That's what I take from the song. But that is what inspired me to have it on there, and it has been catchy. And people have come up to me, at work and out in public and said, "Fat boy swag." So it's definitely a catchy song, and they did a wonderful job on it. And they actually even just asked me not too long ago to if I would be part of the music video for Fat Boy Swag. And so we got some things in the works right now. So we hope to give you guys that in 2021. But great question. That is what inspired me with that song. And speaking of BTS, I have a question from them. They said, will you have us back on the show in 2021? And the answer is, of course, I will. Yes, we're going to have you guys back on the show. And we're going to be talking about some of the projects that we're going to be collaborating on. So thank you so much. Shout out to BTS. They are always supporting the Eugene B Show. They share all the things, all the stories and things that I put out there. They share the videos when they upload, when they release every Thursday. So I really do thank them for the support. All right, good deal. So looks like we got another question here from Viv. No, we already got Viv. We got Dat Dude Chi. That's Chi. That's my cousin. What up, bro? So Chi says, best thing that you learned about yourself in 2020. To be flexible, and always staying ready so we don't have to get ready, right? That's what I learned in 2020, and also how to be resilient. Don't take no for an answer. Even in my regular life, I never take no for an answer. Don't get it twisted. Don't think that everything is peaches and cream, like I'm always winning and all this stuff. There is a billion no's to the one win that I may get. And it seems like I'm always winning, but I'm always working and I'm always jumping through those hurdles. So I'm very resilient. And I'm always eager to learn something new. And I don't ever go into a situation thinking that I know it all. Teach me. I'm like a sponge. I really want to definitely understand and know things. So that is one of the best things that I've learned about myself in 2020. It's more than one way to skin a cat, and I will find it. And you just got to stay resilient. So thank you, Chi. All right. So Renovation Studios says, what's your goal for your channel in 2021? That is a great question. That's my guy, David Renner. Shout out to David. They did the film, the meeting. So thank you for your question. I really don't set a goal because, like I said, this was all kind of organic and it just kind of happened. The goals that I have for 2021, I'll say this, is that I really want to be more intentional with, presenting stories or episodes that are really going to touch the heart and the mind and get you to start thinking about some things, start to get you to think about purpose and things like that. And we touched on those things a little bit in season 1 of the Eugene B Show, with the interviews and things like that, because a lot of inspiration came out of those different segments that we recorded. But at the same time, I really want to be more intentional about that in 2021. So if there is a goal there, it's going to be that I really want to be more intentional about things that, hot topics, things that are really going on in our world, and just having regular people on the show, not necessarily in the industry or anything like that, but just regular people that got good vibes and that can definitely give us their opinion and their take on life. Let's keep going. We're almost there. Looks like we have another question from Classy Coco _36. That's my girl Courtney. What's going on, Court? She says, "What can we expect on the new season of your show?" Kind of similar to what David was mentioning earlier. On the new season of the show, again, I think I'm going to have be more intentional about what the things that you guys want to see. I've been really looking at some of the questions that have been coming in. One of the questions from an anonymous person was that they said, I really love the topics and the different guests that you have on your show. It's so interesting and things like that. And they said, but I really want to know more about you. And so I was like, oh, okay. So with that being said, they like to see my family and things like that. And I'm very careful about, posting my family or doing things with family and things like that. And the reason for that is because I've signed up for this life. I'm okay with being kind of a public figure, or whatever the case may be. But my 3-year-old, probably not. She's not at an age where she can say that she wants to do that. And my wife, we already get it now. People will come up to us, or they'll come up to my wife and they'll, ask questions and things like that. And so, I signed up for this. They didn't. So I'm kind of careful about putting it out there. So we got to have some boundaries there. But those are the things that obviously you guys like to see. So we might explore that a little bit more. Definitely explore me just kind of doing me, being me, I guess. So yeah, that's what you'll probably see on the next season on the Eugene B Show. And so another question that Classy Coco _36 says is, what are some of your New Year's resolutions? I never make New Year's resolutions, guys, ever. I really don't even plan anything anymore. I used to be such a planner. In my 20s, I planned everything. And most of the time it would go according to plan. Now my focus, since I've hit my 30s, since I have gotten married and I have a kid, my way of thinking has shifted a lot. And I just have to be very flexible and being comfortable being uncomfortable. So with that being said, because that not knowing what's going to happen and things like that makes me very uncomfortable. But whenever you have other extensions of you that you can't control, I can't control what my wife is going to do today or tomorrow. I can't control what my kid is going to go out here and do today, tomorrow. I just have to be prepared for whatever is going to happen. So with that being said, I don't really make New Year's resolutions. I don't even plan things like that anymore. I have an overall goal, and I'm kind of tracking my way to see if I'm gonna get there, but I don't really make New Year's resolutions. If anything, if I'm making a goal for 2021, it would be that I am going to be more intentional about what projects I take on, right? So I've learned a lot that in 2020, I was wasting so much time. I was wasting so much money, traveling around, doing all these different things. In 2021, COVID has taught me that there are more than one ways to do things. You can actually set up a Zoom call. You don't actually have to go across town to meet with somebody face to face, even though, that may be preferred or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to just be more thoughtful, smart about the decisions that I make in 2021, and kind of trim that budget down a little bit, not be so wasteful in all areas of my life. So thank you so much, Courtney. So I got one from Mr. Stay Tuned 76. Y'all, that's my cousin Seneca. He is like him and my aunt Audrey are the biggest supporters of this show, and my mama. Those three, I know every single Thursday they're gonna watch these shows. So thank y'all for watching. But Seneca says, now that you've successfully completed your first season, what's next for the show in 2021? And it kind of goes into what I was talking to Courtney about, just being more intentional, giving you guys a little bit more of me. But I'm still going to, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to be doing my music, my artists and things like that, doing those interviews with people that are working in the industry and things like that. And I'm doing that because that's just something that I love. And if you want a piece of me, then that's what you're gonna get. I'm a music lover. I love the arts. I love movies. I love actors and actresses and things like that. And so that's what I really thrive on, and showing you the behind the scenes of how we're working and things like that. So I thought that that's what I was giving y'all, in season 1. But it sounds to me from just some of the things, the responses that I've been getting from you guys, that you just want just like me sitting at home, which is boring. It might be boring. I don't know. I'm always on the outside looking in, or inside looking out. And I'd be like, what do these people want to know? Like, I'd be just sitting here on the couch or sitting here in my office working. Like, I'm not what you think I am. So showroom floor detail, that is my boy Keys. What's going on, Keys? I think this was a joke. He said, can I be a silent actor? Yes, you can be a silent actor. You don't want to talk, you just want to be on camera. That is too funny. All right, guys, looks like we have gotten through most of our questions here. What are we doing on time? Dang, we at like 39, 40 minutes now. Oof, my goodness, y'all been giving me the business. We have another from Hawkins here. It looks like we have a question about would I donate to families and things like that, monetary donations, as my show picks up. Definitely. So with me, I don't loan money and stuff like that. But as my wealth will grow, that is something that I would definitely look into, having different families that we sponsor and things like that, or but right now I ain't making no money. I don't know what y'all be thinking, like I ain't got no money, I'm poor. I'm rich in the Lord. How about that? I'm rich in the Lord. So no, sometimes I don't have any money to donate and things like that. But as my businesses and stuff grow, and there's opportunities, yes, I would love to donate to different charities, help different families, people that may be in need and things like that. There's some worthy causes out there that really touch my heart, like the causes with the veteran communities and things like that, single mothers, things of that nature. Those are areas that really kind of touch my heart. So, of course, definitely in the future. But I just ain't got it right now, y'all. I ain't got it. All right, I'm just a struggling YouTuber. But that is pretty much the questions that I have here. I think that I got through all of them, and I really do appreciate you guys so much for entertaining me and asking questions and things like that. We definitely appreciate all the support that you give us on the show. And so we are going to give it a little bit of a break for just a couple of weeks. I got to rejuvenate and things like that. I got to get into this new year, and I really got to focus in on what my purpose is and things like that. And so with that being said, during this time frame where we're on this little hiatus, go back and watch some of the episodes that we've already recorded on the UGB platform. And definitely, get familiar with what we've been doing. And we will come back on January 14th. Is when I'm going to air my first episode. But guys, before that, I really want you guys to know that I'm still working behind the scenes. So on January 1st, on New Year's Day, that's also going to be my mama's birthday. Hey mama, happy birthday. But on New Year's Day, we're also going to be dropping the Boss Talk interview that I did with Eric Hunter. So you guys got an opportunity to see the cover of the magazine, and you got to read the article and things like that. But we actually went into the studio and we recorded an episode of that interview. So you guys, that will be dropping on January 1st on New Year. So please make sure that you go ahead and you check it out. I will be posting that on my social medias. So thank you guys again for a wonderful first season, or a pilot season of the UGB show. Y'all, I did not think we was gonna get here. Like I had no idea that this platform would have the impact that it did. that it does. You know, so it's been interesting how all of this stuff has kind of transpired. But we're gonna continue that momentum, and we're gonna keep that same energy. KTSE. Keep that same energy in 2021, all right? So y'all be blessed. I thank you guys for sitting in here and watching this for 40 something minutes on here. My goodness, we're gonna have to cut that thing down. But we love y'all for watching. And again, if you have not subscribed to the show, go ahead and hit that subscribe notification and then hit that bell so that you don't miss any of our episodes, all right? We thank you for watching. Peace.
It's just somebody's fat boy swag. Swag, 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 swag.